on your Tuesday morning. A little bit of a hazy start out there because of the wildfires.
Yeah, the wildfires in Canada, again, have flared up in Quebec, and we have a northerly flow kind of bringing that right down. So that's kind of the weather issue today. Yeah. The air quality is going to be poor.
Is that the clouds too? It's kind of just
it's a little bit of both.
A little murky out there.
It's been like gray, regardless of how you look at it, right? We have a lot of clouds. We have some of that haze, and the haze is going to be sticking with us today. From time to time, the clouds will clear a bit, and the skies will be brighter at times. And we do run the risk of a few showers and thunderstorms. It's not going to rain all day. The bulk of the day it will not be raining. But you know how it works, right? A few showers begin to pop up. The town might have a good downpour. Another town might have a thunderstorm. And the bulk of the time it will not be raining. We're 50 now. We are going to end up probably in the low, maybe some mid-70s. The wind is calm. It'll pick up a bit out of the north and northwest as we go through the day today. And that unhealthy air is really for a good chunk of central and southern New England, parts of New York State as well, with that flow coming in out of the northwest with wildfires. So there's an air quality alert. You know, most of the time when this has happened so far over the last several weeks, it's been way high in the sky. We just have had some haze, but this is a little bit more prolific. So this may actually make it down to the ground, reducing visibilities a bit. And of course, that'll bring our air quality down too. And you can see the red showing unhealthy air quality around noontime this afternoon. So it'll get worse as the morning goes on, and then the air quality stays poor throughout the afternoon and into the evening. It'll slowly get better as we go into the overnight tonight. The air quality alert stays into effect until midnight tonight. In terms of showers, we might have a shower or two this morning, mainly across Berkshire County, and then we'll have a better chance of a couple of showers, maybe a downpour, isolated thunderstorm as we go into the afternoon. But notice, just for example, at 2 o'clock, Springfield, the sun might be out with a few clouds, a temp near 70, a hazy sky. Meanwhile, there might be a couple of downpours off to the north and west, and a few of those might try to make their way down into the valley as we go through the day today. So not everybody will be getting wet, but have the umbrella on standby. Tonight we'll have mostly cloudy skies, a bit of haze still. Temps will fall probably to around 50 or some upper 40s to start our day tomorrow. So as the kids head off to the bus stop this morning, we're rain-free. It's dry with a temp near 50. As they're heading home, isolated shower, maybe a rumble of thunder with temperatures in the lower 70s. Right now at 50 in Springfield, 55 Worcester. Boston is at 57. You can see the cloudiness over us now actually thinning out a bit. Skies are a little bit brighter. Those hazy skies across Berkshire County. Only shower out there now is to the south of Albany. This will more or less dry up. Best chance of a shower this morning is Berkshire County, and then a few downpours and a thunderstorm might flare up as we go into the afternoon. It's all rotating around low pressure that's off to the east, and it's just sitting there, so it's throwing more clouds our way for tomorrow. Tomorrow cloudy with a shower or two. The bulk of the day is dry. And Thursday it's going to be mainly cloudy with maybe a couple of showers. Each day will get a little cooler, with today being the warmest. Low to mid-70s, 70 tomorrow, and mid-60s on Wednesday. In terms of thunderstorms today, yeah, we might have a thunderstorm, not expecting them to be severe, but a good downpour and some thunder and lightning not out of the question. So today 74. Notice how we're cooling a bit with more clouds rolling in. So tomorrow about 70, mostly cloudy, a spot shower, maybe a couple of showers Thursday. Again, the bulk of the day it won't be raining, but clouds and temps in the mid-60s. Keep in mind, normal high should be about 76. So today, low to mid-70s, and that warmer or milder air will make it all the way to the shoreline, where they've been stuck in the 50s pretty much the last several days. So a little milder across southern New England, but today's chances of showers and a thunderstorm a little higher, a little lower tomorrow, but so aren't the temps, with the high right around 70. And Thursday, mainly cloudy, mid-60s. Friday, better chance of a shower or thunderstorm when near 70. The weekend right now is looking promising, a little warmer, a little brighter. We'll talk more about that weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes from now. Amanda and David, back to you.
Thanks, Dan.